Welcome back to West Texas View.
Before the break, we were talking about, in general, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, how it was funded, and we talked about the law that was passed with the state legislature in the 80s, 70s or 80s. And it's been a godsend for all of our communities because that money is earmarked to bring people into our communities. And one of the ways that, and we were talking before the break about the name Convention and Visitors Bureau, or CVB, and people don't understand what that really entails. But the conventions and the conferences that are held here are such a wonderful way to get people into the community, but also for several days at a time.
Correct.
So talk about how we get conventions to come here.
Well, we have a diligent team, and we're constantly going out and bidding and working on bringing conventions to Midland, and very successful with it, because once you educate them, Midland is a very friendly community, and we do great details in our servicing of the groups. But as you indicated, conventions and sporting, we want them to stay more than one day in Midland, and this is a prime way to do it. But we have to have facilities that can accommodate the meeting spaces, and that's why we're so excited about our new Midland Center, because we've lost business because we didn't have the size that we needed. We have secured a lot of business, but there's so much more potential out there. And the bigger and better, raising the bar, is what we continue to do. And in raising that bar, it's impacting our community as well. Last year alone, the direct visitor spending that was brought to Midland by visitors was $28,719,000.
That is amazing.
That is it.
$28 million.
Close to 29. I mean, it's 300,000 away from being 29 million that was impacted in our community.
One thing that I think the viewers might find interesting, at least I do, is that number, we're outperforming the Abilenes, we're outperforming the Lovups.
Correct.
Some cities much bigger than us, our hotel motel revenue is extremely strong. So this economy in Midland and Odessa and the Permian Basin is still pretty remarkable, even with a downturn, because now we're probably down 20%.
20.
So
20 to 30 somewhere.
but to say we're down 20%, it's still the second or third highest in history. So a downturn is still pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the funny thing is we've suffered ups and downs forever, and so we're used to rolling with the punches.
And we bid 2 to 5 years out, so we're always looking towards the future.
But let's define convention and conferences, because a lot of people think, oh, this is when Mary Kay has this nationwide convention in Dallas or something. But what it really amounts to, it could be something like a district Sunday school.
There's so many different opportunities.
Or it could be a district teachers group that maybe only involved 30 to 100 people. But it could be something that involves all of the employees of a shale or something like that.
There's training that goes on, there's conventions, and it can be anywhere from a convention hosting 100 people, and we've held it large enough that it's hosted 700 people in Midland. And the hotel motel tax, the way we're funded, it has to have, before we become involved, it has to have 10 room nights. Whether it's one event for 10 nights or 10 per night. And that's wonderful, but we really want the substance. We want to go after the larger conventions and continue to bring that in. And we've been successful. Our hoteliers, they work with us. Some will go with us on bids, and some will send their, it's called a request for a proposal, and we send out the information and secure it. And then anyone, this is what is so important for our community to know, if you belong to an association, no matter what your employment is, there's associations. We have it ourselves. The Convention and Visitors Bureau have our own association. And so contact us. Let us help you. We make it a one-stop shop for the meeting planners, whether it's within this year, within 5 years out. We work to secure it. We give it the best servicing available, and we stand beside you all the way through the process.
And you tell them why they should come to Midland.
Absolutely.
And that's really important.
It's amazing, the
and
opportunities.
The first one is it's so easy to get around Midland.
Oh,
and
yes.
don't go to Dallas.
Yes, and we have an airport, which A lot of conventions, that's critical. We have interstate here with us. It's easy access, and yet it's small town hospitality that just goes and goes and goes.
But the important thing is, if someone comes to you from, say, one of the credit unions and says, we're getting ready to have a district or a statewide credit union, would you help me make up a packet to bid for it to come to Midland? Not only do you do that, but then if you get it, then you work with their meeting planners and plan every detail so that they know exactly, you know what their schedule's going to be, and you can help with free time activities.
Correct. We plan for them. We include transportation.
I want to tell you a great story, because that happened with a friend of mine was planning the Gideon group that wanted to have a convention here about, it's been 15 years ago now. And so he contacted the Chamber Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they did exactly that, and they all said that was the best convention they had ever had. And the main reason was because of the friendliness, the ease, and the ability to get around that community.
That's what we pride ourselves on.
And they bragged on the food, great restaurants, great hotels.
We do have a lot to offer in Midland. We really do, and that's our job, is to share that. And we'll go with you if anyone's
if you're going to
we're
Austin,
more than happy to go. Yes, that's what we love to do. We want to tell our story because it's a great story to be told.
You feel like you can win.
Oh yes,
you get on the face
and I'm very competitive, and so is the team. And we have an amazing team, and then we also have the Midland Visitor Center that is under our umbrella, and so that's very critical for our community as well.
And tell us where all the Midlands visitors centers are. I know there's one on the interstate.
There's one on the interstate. In fact, they had over 4,000 visitors last year that stopped in our community, came in, spent their money, and that's what we work to do as well. You know, we constantly want to tell the story of what a great place Midland is, quality of place.
So when you see our restaurants full with girls softball players or whatever, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
That's right. And go over and welcome them.
That's
We're gonna have to end this program, and I'm so sorry we are, because this has been such a wonderful bit of information, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.